Assalamu alaikum. Thank you everybody for joining us today for another very, very exciting, very, very insightful session of Bizverds. And I have with us two seasonal, very, very experienced individuals, Ghazala Nadeem and Kashif Chaudhary, working with mega organizations. And I will not say more because I'm sure they have a huge fan following for over the years that they've worked with people. And so let's not, without further wasting any time, I'd like to introduce Ghazala and Kashif. And if you can, guys, can give a little bit of an intro about yourselves, and then we can just carry on with our fun-loving and yeah. Thank you. Ji
Okay.
Ghazala.
I'll let the lady take the lead, please.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Kashif Sahab. Very nice of you.
So, Ghazala is the name. I've been in the HR field for quite some time. P&G, Procter & Gamble, that's been the company that I've worked for most for the past 27 years. I joined in finance, initially did 7 to 8 years in finance and then moved over to HR. And since then, HR has been my home. I have, during the course of my 27 years with P&G, I have been working in 5 different countries if you count Pakistan. So I've worked in Romania, in Switzerland, in Dubai, and in the US, and obviously Pakistan. So that's been my, like, over the years, my travels, as well as the company that I've worked for. I now work for TCF, the Citizens Foundation, an NGO that I'm very well, I'm quite sure that you're all aware of. And I work as I work in terms of leading the HR department there, as well as the IT department. Don't ask me how that came into my portfolio, but it did. And I'm trying my best to manage that as well. But yes, the Citizens Foundation, my latest passion, and enjoying it thoroughly. I've been back in Pakistan for now around 8 months. So that's
Mashallah, mashallah. It just came to your portfolio because the woman of multi hats that you are, starting from finance to HR now, HR and technology. I'm sure you're going to rock this one as well.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Ji Kashif Sahab. Hello. थोड़ी सा मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा डिस्टॉर्शन हो गया है because right now with the rain and everything, signals and जो हमारा माशाल्लाह इंटरनेट का हाल है. लेकिन Ghazala, it's good to have you back after a long time. You've come back. Okay, we have Kashif Sahab.
Yeah. Are you there, Kashif Sahab?
We are trying to. थोड़ा सा मेरे ख्याल से glitch हो रहा है अभी भी. So you were saying, Ghazala, आप कितने सालों बाद वापस आई हैं?
So 7 years. 7 years I've been gallivanting across the globe. उसमें भी ये था कि I was living beautiful countries. Oh, beautiful countries, all of them, and all of them have their very, very strong positives in terms of living there and experiencing the cultures and so on. So it was absolutely wonderful. But it was time to come home. My elder 2 daughters are always here in Karachi, and so that was kind of, we were living in a split family kind of arrangement, and my parents and my siblings. And Karachi is Karachi, and Karachi is home. So bas.
Yes, Karachi is, yes.
Karachi is home. तो बस वो देश में गया तो आगे वापस.
आगे. Kashif Sahab, are you back? And we are still facing some kind of a technology. थोड़ा सा challenge हो रहा है. Let's see. But if you were to come back to Pakistan, Ghazala, would you still come back to Karachi or any other city?
Oh, Karachi for sure.
I know that. Karachi ghar hai. Yes. Even with the floods and the pani and the everything, yes, Karachi.
Karachi
Kashif Sahab, are we audible to you? No. Let me see. I'm so sorry. This just a slight. थोड़ा सा glitch चल रहा है.
It's strange. We were talking to him like a minute ago before you went live.
Yes, yes. We were all like, going, having our little moments that we do.
That's
backstage.
True.
Backstage moments जो हमारे होते हैं.
That's true.
लेकिन Ghazala, ये क्या कहते हैं? What do you say when you talk about leaders? And I'm sure Kashif Sahab will give his input as well. So when we talk about leaders, and we talk about leaders, especially in these times. So when we say कि leader adaptability भी क्या कहते हैं करते हैं, with change भी है, thinking भी है. So how would you put it in a nutshell?
So I think as leadership या बात करें या leaders की अपनी बात करें, तो I think that more and more we need to kind of appreciate that knowledge is very widespread. And while experience is also very important, I do believe that the knowledge the younger people bring in is like tremendously of tremendous value. And if you couple the two together, then I think कि जो leaders जो अब हैं जो कि typically ज़्यादा experienced लोग होते हैं, not always, and I completely buy that, but typically, I think they need to develop that humility of understanding and appreciating the knowledge of their younger team members. And I think कि अगर आप वो डालें ना उसके अंदर वो ये humility वाला angle डालें और listening वाला angle डाल दें आप और आप उनको सुने अच्छी तरह से जो आपकी younger team members हैं, तो then जो है ना leadership का मजा भी और है और ideas का मजा भी और है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Yeah. So to me, that's what I would assume that leadership is. For today's leadership, I think humility is the new kind of trait that I would really
compassionate,
talk about.
Humility hona, mindful hona. You know, we read about intelligence, we read about कि जी किस तरह mindful आपको होना चाहिए. Kashish साहब, you're on mute. थोड़ा सा चैलेंज अभी भी हो रहा है. Because it was perfect, you know, ये बस यही है ना technology, but we can't control. It's not in our locus of control.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. I just hope he joins back because then the show will go into a totally different spirit altogether.
Joby, we do best with what we have. So
yes. So आप ठीक है? Kasha, we can't see you.
I'm trying to get back.
So in these, okay, we are eagerly waiting.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. 1 second. Yes. Okay. So,
no,
are we audible and clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay. थोड़ा सा है अभी भी. Should we give a few seconds, just maybe trying to join back?
Up to you. I don't know what's happening, but yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, ये जो live chat होता है समन, उसके अंदर हम नहीं बोल. I can't type in the live chat, right?
No, you can't.
Okay.
You will be the one who's answering the questions. जैसे अभी काफी सारे लोग we have with us. We have Aslan Sheikh.
Can I comment on something that Ranjit has just said?
Yes,
so Ranjit,
yes.
I saw your comment in terms of saying that I've been 28 years with the same organization. And yes, so I think I just wanted to comment on that one, right? So PNG is kind of an organization that sucks you in a little bit. But besides that, I think I enjoyed it so much in my everyday working, learning new all the time, learning new stuff every time. And every time I moved an assignment, I was having something else to learn, whether it even on a personal basis. So when I moved from country to country, there was so much culture to learn. जैसे मैं जब रोमानिया में थी, तो Romanians had come out of their whole communism, क्या कहते हैं उनका जो communism pass था, तो मेरी तो lunch breaks इतनी लंबी होने लगी थी with my organization, because I would sit with them and we would talk about their experiences during the whole communism era and so on. So that was just amazing amount of learning and just growth from a personal basis, whilst PNG also obviously you continue and you learn in an organization. So I think that's what was the thing that kept me going as far as PNG was concerned. Now, हाँ आजकल लोग जो है 5-6 साल गुजार के change कर लेते हैं organization, and I don't think there's anything wrong in that either, because I really think that going to different organizations also teaches you a lot, because every organization has a culture, every organization has a a different feel to it, and going to different organizations, it just helps you grow and develop as well, I think. And जो वो होती है ना, objective is growth and development. Of course, the bread is there.
Like my father served PIA for good 30 plus years. So I think उस जमाने के उस जनरेशन के जो लोग थे वो कहते थे कि यार अल्लाह का शुक्र है नौकरी है, इधर उधर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, इस जगह पे रह के एक्सेल इन व्हाटएवर वी हैव एंड एंड ग्रो इन दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
राइट.
तो इसलिए नाउ वी से कि डाइवर्सिटी इज फ्लेवर.
या
सो जब तक आप यहाँ से ग्रो करेंगे, फिर आप इधर से ग्रो करेंगे, यू कीप ऑन बिल्डिंग ऑन your experience and your expertise also gets more refined and finesse आ जाता है, shine आ जाता है. लेकिन personally speaking, when you're working too long for one organization, people do come and ask you how come. So I say how come not? Why not? If you're excelling in one place, if you're excelling in one place and if it's giving you clear, I think it's about not being monotonous in your work.
Yeah.
उसके अंदर भी आपके जब रोल्स चेंज होते हैं, आपको डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स पे असाइन करते हैं और डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस में आप होते हैं, तो दैट काइंड ऑफ एड्स फ्लेवर एंड कीप्स यू गोइंग. वरना मोनोटोनस तो वही वाली बात है कि यार अच्छा रोज एक ही जगह काम करना है और ऐसे ही काम करना है.
True.
Yeah, but okay, so my question to you is, Ghazala, what practices and actions will you design and do for the upcoming new normal? As Simon Sinek said, there is no a new normal. There's nothing like going back to the old normal.
So that's very true, and to me I think that the definition of the new normal is अभी तो मेरा ख्याल है कि हम लोगों को वही नहीं समझ में आया है कि new normal की definition क्या होनी है. ठीक है ना? So there is a set of protocols, like from a safety standard that people have to follow. So I mean the social distancing piece comes in, then the physical interaction इतनी नहीं होगी. The whole hygiene aspect of it comes in, that particular piece. So those are aspects, cheek kaise karni hai, for example, is something that I never thought somebody would actually teach me in all the social media that's available, but we're even being taught how to sneeze now. It's fine, but it's very interesting, right? So I think that is one aspect as we move into what is called the new normal, because I think ये जो situation है of the COVID-19 is not going to go away anytime soon. And so ये चंद चीजें हैं जो कि I'm sure जिन लोगों ने organizations ज्वाइन कर लिए हैं, ऑफिसेज ज्वाइन कर लिए हैं, वो देख भी रहे होंगे अपने अपनी ऑफिसेज में कि भाई सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग है तो डेस्क मार्क्ड हैं, कौन से डेस्क यूज कर सकते हैं, पाथवेज मार्क्ड हैं कि भाई इधर से आना है तो उधर से जाना है, एलिवेटर में 2 बंदों से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकते. इस तरह की जो सारी चीजें हैं, हाइजीन के नए स्टैंडर्ड्स है, व्हिच आई don't mind at all. I think it's great if you can have better hygiene. Why not? So I think that those are the kind of things which are very physical aspects of what will become the new normal, I think. And then there's a whole aspect of it which is not so physical aspect of it, which is this whole experience that we're also experiencing right now, which is like this remote online remote jo bhi keh le. That is a whole other dynamic that we are also kind of experiencing, and I think this particular piece we will continue to experience as we move along. So to me, I think those are the kind of things that will kind of define new normal as we move along.
Anything new that you would want to incorporate, or anything that you would want to कि जहाँ पे इतने सारे SOPs और इतने सारे new ways of operating?
So of course, I mean, so when we were setting up our like हमारे office opening protocols, अभी TCF में हम लोगों ने we worked around saying, okay, how do we open office?
You guys have opened.
We are going to open as of Monday actually.
अच्छा, okay.
So उसके लिए protocols जो हमने बनाए हैं, वो मतलब उसमें सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है कि let's work on less than full capacity, and I think that enables you to do the whole social distancing piece and so on. और less than full capacity करने के लिए आपको बाकायदा you have to set up your protocols in terms of rota system, कि कौन किस वक्त दफ्तर आएगा, कौन अगले हफ्ते दफ्तर आएगा, and so on. So the work in that way has kind of increased for the manager and the head of departments, because they need to kind of manage this. 40% से ज़्यादा अगर हमको नहीं बुलाने लोगों को, so how do we manage that 40% in terms of who's coming in, who's not? And then there are vulnerable groups like older people, like people with with preconditions and so on, with like pregnant mums or mums with small kids, or people with very vulnerable parents. So itna diverse hai iska, so you know how who comes in and who's not. We're starting off as Monday on a volunteer basis. So we've just asked people who wants to come in just to experiment with it for a couple of weeks. And then we'll see how it goes. So I think that one piece, just managing the rota, I think is just in itself going to be an interesting thing. To note, our schools have not started yet. So when the schools
Yes,
start, it'll be a whole new dynamic for us.
all new. And are your people who you're working with, your employees flexible? Are they adapting to
Uh,
the change?
oh my goodness, so well कि शुरू
Mashallah,
में
yeah.
क्योंकि at the end of the day we're a very progressive NGO, but we are an
Mm,
NGO. Okay, so we don't have the access to the kind of funds that Procter & Gamble has, for example, or other MNCs have, or even other local really large organizations have. So हमारे पास वो
mm,
access to funds उतना तो है नहीं. तो जब हम लोगों ने पूरा सोचा कि किस तरह जाएंगे and so on, it was just a very interesting transition. I thought that it would be difficult, but not at all. I mean, we're on Outlook, so we immediately went to MS Teams,
mm-hmm.
launched MS Teams, and technology being under me as well, we quickly worked with my team to launch MS Teams across Wokia, and people took it up, especially the office staff, both Karachi office as well as our regional offices across the provinces.
Mm.
Mashallah, say didn't take them time at all. मतलब बहुत
Oh
जल्दी they
wow,
got into
very,
the
very
whole.
progressive. Well,
Yeah, very
performers.
well, very well. Oh yes,
We have moved,
mashallah. Say, I
yeah,
mean, I'm very happy. So
mashallah.
anybody out there who has a notion in their minds that technology nahi adapt kar sakte, people who are not used to that much of technology, that's not true at all. We expect it worked like clockwork for us. I'm very happy with my organization.
Mashallah. Kashif Saab, do we have the pleasure of having you back?
I think I'm back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are audible and you're audible as well. If you, because Rala and I, we were just talking of what's happening in this new times, and uske andar we were just waiting for you to come back. So, a small intro about yourself to our viewers.
All right, Ji, I'll start off with my intro. You know my name, I'm Kashif. I've been working for slightly more than quarter of a century. And like Ghazala, I did not start my career purely with HR. So I have worked across almost all streams of business, ranging from operations, process, supply chain, and HR. I worked with both MNCs and local organizations, so I have the flavor of different environments and cultures. HR has been an instinct in the heart. Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer, but that has helped me with HR because engineering tells you how to break things down and rebuild them. So that is the approach that I took in HR, and for the last 10, 15 years, it has been HR all the way. So that's a
Wow.
brief intro about me, Z.
Okay, great to, and you're with the Total Parker right now, and you've been there for quite some time, yes?
I've been there for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Joined them in 2015 and continuing with them, G.
Mashallah, mashallah. And we wish you all the best for the upcoming times and upcoming years ahead. So, Mike, I would just ask Ghazala this question. I would like to ask you as well. कि अभी जो situation है, and इस situation के अंदर भी हम we're trying very hard not to think about it, not to let it affect our performance. We're trying to actually go forward. Okay, whatever it is, not be in denial. But as being leaders of ACT, and why I chose ACT is like for adaptability, change, and thinking. So, what practices and what actions will you design and do for the upcoming new normal?
I think the last 4 or 5 months have taught us a lot of new things. Besides the COVID measures, we have realized that we don't really have to work from the office. We can work
Mm,
from home, and life goes on. So you don't
yeah,
really have to be in person all the time. You can work from a distance and still be very effective. पिछले
yeah,
4-5 महीने से, like Ghazala was saying, a lot of organizations have allowed the working from home, and people are working from home. Different types of organizations, different dynamics. But I think the one big way of working for future probably would be that this concept of coming to offices every day, this concept of keeping these big offices with the organizations, concept of regular meetings in person, all of this is going to change gradually. And I think this has more been a practice session the last 4 5 months for the times to come ahead.
Yeah.
Interestingly, what Radala was saying, I'll completely endorse that. With the social distancing, we are a culture where we like to get close, shake hands, hug each other,
Yes,
show
yes,
affection.
yes, yes.
We just can't avoid, but we're learning. We're learning. We can still be
Yes.
good to each other without that close proximity. So yes, things are changing, and things will definitely change. And I think
Hmm.
this COVID has made us learn and consider a lot of things which are going to impact the way organizations do business in the future.
True, definitely. So, what soft skills do you foresee? My question is to both of you. What soft skills do you foresee that are necessary in order to succeed in the new future of work?
वो सॉफ्ट स्किल्स देखें जी, वो तो जो चेंज मैनेजमेंट की जब हम बात करते हैं, आई थिंक वी हैव बीन थ्रू दैट स्टेट ऑफ शॉक एंड डिनायल. So the biggest soft skill required right now will be adaptability and perseverance, because digesting and wearing this change will require a lot of perseverance. This is how
Hmm.
we have grown up as a nation. This is how we have grown up as humans. But now we will have to change things completely, and the instincts that have built over years and years will need to be changed gradually, and that will
Hmm.
need, because that is going to have an impact not only on the professional life but the personal lives as well. तो वो जब इंस्टिंक्ट को चेंज करना हो तो बड़ा हौसला, बड़ी हिम्मत और बड़ा टाइम चाहिए होता है. और उस टाइम के अंदर इफ यू डाइग्रेस फ्रॉम द पाथ्स दैट यू इंटेंड टेकिंग, then you can get onto the wrong road and lead to the wrong destination. तो वो you'll have to persevere. हमें probably we need to learn to be more patient and let things take the natural course of action, and we have to have a lot of adaptability in terms of adapting to this change, because if we don't do that, I think the world is moving at a much faster pace. So
Yes.
to stay competitive with the rest of the world, to stay competitive with the corporate world especially, we'll have to have the adaptability factor very strongly built into us.
Thank you. Thank you. Very, very nicely said.
So if I can
Resilience,
add,
patience. Bilkul. Ji, Fazala.
So if I can add to adaptability and perseverance that Kashif brought up, I would probably bring up as soft skills. I would probably bring up compassion and care. And I know that, and I know generally, matlab, to me, that piece of compassion and care is going to be very high on the agenda of us as managers, of us as leaders, of us as colleagues, and also as employees, I think. Okay, because compassion and care सारी जगहों पे होती है. Like of us as leaders, we have to be compassionate and caring for our teams in today's day and age, because it's the atmosphere out there is that of scare, of fear, of concern, क्योंकि हर आप सुनते हैं हर किसी की फैमिली में कोई ना कोई इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, and so it
Ji,
starts with
Bilkul.
that lot of concern and fear. So that care and compassion is needed there. As colleagues, again, because अगर मेरा कोई counterpart है जिसके साथ कुछ हुआ है, तो again there needs to be a lot of care, compassion, and understanding. And I would say as employees as well, because बहुत ज़रूरी है, we have to understand our organization and our companies are going through a lot at this point in time as well. And while we hear horror stories from several organizations कि इतने लोग lay off हो गए and whatever, and those are all not nice stories, unfortunately. Um, but it's also, I mean, it's the people are in a fix. They're in really in a very difficult situation as far as the economy and the making the financials meet considerations are. So both
Yes.
compassion and care on all these different levels is necessary, I think.
Very
Very
rightly
true.
said.
Very true, Vazala.
Very true. And compassion is a subject which touches my heart because compassion, we do a compassion survey. Compassion in business का survey हम लोग करते हैं with the charter of compassion के साथ. And उसके अंदर it has always been a very, very special part of Funworks as well. So whenever you hear the word compassion, we're like, yes, finally, because
Yeah.
उस वक्त people say कि यार ये क्या fluffy बातें, compassionate हो जो भी काम करना है, ये करना है, and then snap overnight, mindfulness, resilience, compassionate, ये सारी चीजें आपके सामने आ जाती हैं, and right now I would strongly
Yeah.
feel कि अब तो compassionate listening भी आ गई है.
बिल्कुल.
जहाँ पे आप एक्टिव लिसनिंग की बात कर रहे होते थे तो साथ में मैं उस दिन पढ़ रही थी तो देयर इज अ थिंग कॉल्ड कंपैशनेट लिसनिंग आल्सो कि
Yeah.
होल्ड ऑन टू योर जजमेंट एंड होल्ड ऑन टू व्हाटएवर यू आर फीलिंग एंड जस्ट हियर देम आउट.
Yeah. Yeah.
जरा मुश्किल हो जाता है क्योंकि हमारा हमारा जो रिस्पांस होता है वो जल्दी जल्दी होता है कि यार हम जी से रिस्पांस करें आगे बढ़े, लेकिन बड़ा
बिल्कुल
मुश्किल होता है कि आप सब्र करके बैठे, जबर करके बैठे और सुन लें.
सुन लें, बिल्कुल दुरुस्त.
अच्छा समन
So
बड़ा
yes,
इंटरेस्टिंग है ये फिनोमेना ना, ये जो कंपैशनेट लिसनिंग है, this is very interesting. जो हम अभी बात कर रहे थे, I think the word compassion is very appropriate. It's mutual now. Like Ghazala said, I mean the world is going through a crisis. I mean economically, the world is going through a crisis,
जी.
and we are no different as a country. हमारे economic challenges पहले भी थे, और इस situation में आके probably हमारे challenges multiply हो गए हैं. Now, what we need to realize as organizations and as employees, uh, things may not remain the same. Ghazala said, yes, absolutely correct. कि जी वो डाउनसाइजिंग हो रही है और जॉब्स के भी खतरे पड़े हुए हैं. But at the same time, if you equate the impact to the reaction, I think still the corporate world is still being very very nice. और उसमें आके जो compassionate listening वाला factor है, it has to go both way.
Right.
Yeah.
We as employees have to understand, and corporates have they have to have the audacity to give that empathetic listening to the people. But unless it is mutual, I in my personal view, this will not work one way.
For sure.
True,
For sure.
true. Anything for it to work has to be a two-way thing. When a one-way, तो फिर आपका कुछ भी आपको you just bounce it back against something. So Farhad has something really nice to say. I say कि before it gets, goes up in the messages, मैं जल्दी से share कर दूँ कि yes, an amazing person, thorough, professional, compassionate soul. So yes, you validated it right there.
Thank you, Farhad. You still owe me a cup of coffee, by the way, Farhad. We'll get there one day.
Virtual करेंगी या live face to face करेंगी?
I don't know. I would love to have a face-to-face with him. But
Yes, I would love to also. Absolutely. Inshallah, we will plan in a few. जैसे थोड़ा सा the
Stroll होता है
बेहतर हो जाए and we are safe with each other, तो फिर then शायद थोड़ा सा दूर बैठ के भी कॉफी पी सकते हैं वैसे, I believe.
बिल्कुल.
So, this is what you guys think. These are the soft skills that you foresee. So, what measures are leaders like yourselves are taking in terms of behaviors, mindset, and to cope with these times?
Behaviors. I think as leaders, we need to walk the talk here.
Yes. Thank you, Kasha sir. I really hear that.
Yeah, words will just not be enough. As leaders, have to show lead by example. We need to show through our actions that what we mean, what we say, we actually mean that. और ये आसान नहीं होगा because at individual level, in the end we're all humans. और कहना बड़ा आसान होता है कि जी हम leaders हैं, और I mean in the end हम इंसान भी हैं. So obviously we have to जो बात हम कर रहे हैं लोगों से, जो messages, we need a lot of conviction in the messages that we convey, and we need to probably explain the rationale behind things which are happening or which are likely to happen for people to understand. So a lot of communication with conviction is something that we need to do as leaders to cope with the current situation.
Yeah. I would agree with that, and I would probably add it with another thought, which would be measures engagement with employees. And engagement with employees happens at very different क्या कहने चाहिए levels. So I know that my CEO, for example, वो हैं virtual बैठे हुए हैं, लेकिन वो जब भी मेरी उनके साथ गुफ्तगू होती है, he will tell me, oh, I was talking to XYZ on the phone, and I was talking to ABC on the phone, and these are people from across the organization at all levels. and the level of engagement that he handles. His name is, by the way, Sayyid Asad Ayub, and I really like him. So he is amazing, and I'm like, yaar, matlab, how do you do this? And he's like, and he will then tell me, कि भाई, there's this feeling in the organization, and it's really almost opposite. I mean, I'm his HR manager, but he will tell me things. I think वहाँ पे ये मसला हो रहा है क्योंकि मैं उससे बात कर रहा था. So, and he's doing that throughout this whole remote working from home kind of thing as well. So employee engagement is necessary. That's one way of manifesting it. So communication. Another way of manifesting it is also making sure that what you were doing previously, which matters to the employee most, continues to happen. So I'll give you two small examples, both of them related to comp and ben for people. बट जैसे हमारे बेनिफिट्स का वो जब मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस का जब हम लोगों ने सोचा कि भाई वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम पे मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस हम कैसे करेंगे, गिवन generally the insurance company wants hard copies and we're not going to be at the office, and please understand our employees, especially our teachers, are in such remote areas that it's extremely difficult. We immediately thought about it and we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to come up with an ad hoc process. वो हमें ऑनलाइन या तस्वीरें खींच के हमें भेज देंगे पेपर्स, हम उनको देखेंगे, हम 50% उस जो भी क्लेम का है, जो क्लेमेबल है अमाउंट, वो हम उनको थ्रू कर देंगे, एंड देन विल कलेक्ट ऑल दीज डॉक्यूमेंट्स, एंड वन दिस सिचुएशन इज ओवर, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से क्लेम करते रहेंगे बाद में. That employee engagement, that giving out was like one of the things that was extremely appreciated. The other thing, again, the other example I wanted to give of keeping people engaged was also related to basic payroll. Again, I'd like you to understand this in the context of TCF, which is like 18,000 teachers in areas that I'm sure that all the people on this webinar have not even stepped into. Okay, and so when you're talking about those teachers, उनको जब उनकी तनख्वाह वक्त पे मिलती है, so we got poetry back. Believe it or not, we got poetry back saying, thanking the organization and so on. It was just such a relatable kind of thing for them. So ये सब चीजें जो हैं, they also, in these days, in these measures are what continues to help keeping the employee engaged. And as leaders, this is what we need to push. And obviously, मैं नहीं कहती कि मैंने बैठ के कोई चेक लिखे थे या मैंने बैठ के कोई जाके उनको तनख्वाह दी थी, but making sure that happens is something that we need to do.
That's so nice. Like, that's being
very
so
well said,
grateful.
Ghazala, but just to add to this, जो challenges की हम बात कर रहे थे, and the kind of cost pressure that the organizations are under, besides the benefits and all the monetary things that of course keep people going and motivated, I think one thing वो जो हमारी कहते हैं ना बड़ी सादा वालों कि आपको देख के बड़ा हौसला हुआ जी. So that management by walking around, that management by being there, by patting the shoulders, by giving that pleasant smile, and by absorbing that pressure as leaders and not letting it go 100% down, I think that would make a humongous difference in the employee engagement methodology in the future.
Very true.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
देख के जरा हौसला आ जाता है. Yes.
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
जैसे मुझे अभी हौसला है कि I have good people and we're still smiling, we're moving forward. हौसला बढ़ता है because this is how you you look at the people around you, you look at the role models around you in your company, around different companies, आपके clients जो हैं, आपके acquaintances, आपके friends जो हैं, how are they managing it, and you drive that kind of energy कि यार if they're doing it, so can we.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as leaders, you have to emit that energy basically.
बड़ा मुश्किल होता है लेकिन
बहुत मुश्किल है
but it's a muscle, Kashita, that I feel everybody has. आपने वो जैसे वो मोटरसाइकिल को किक स्टार्ट करते हैं, एक दफा में नहीं हुई, अच्छा बारिश होगी, 2 दफा 3 दफा, but if your intention is to kick start that motorcycle for the day, you want to drive your intention for the day, आप कर सकते हो.
True.
अल्लाह ताला ने ऐसे नहीं बनाया ना, अल्लाह ताला ने इतने सारे स्ट्रेंथ के साथ आपको बनाया है. So who are we to just let it up?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, for sure. And you can manage it. जैसे आप कह रही हो ना किक स्टार्ट करना है, तो वो एक इंटेंशन की जरूरत होती है और एक पर्पस की जरूरत होती है. I mean, just yesterday was Friday. Yesterday I had a small team meeting all online with my HR team, and we were doing a visioning exercise. right? कि हम आगे क्या देखते हैं 2021 and how are we going to do? What is the TCF HR equity going to be? All that kind of stuff. We were doing it all online, and it was so much fun. And I know Farhad doesn't really like virtual, but still, we had so much fun trying to do that. and,
Uh,
and just trying to find our way through it. It was good. So, Alhamdulillah, it worked out.
yes. And so what, you know, if I would ask you, okay, what steps would you want to ensure that you want to take to ensure employee effectiveness? जैसे मैंने आपको कहा कि ये किक स्टार्ट होना चाहिए. So any
Yeah.
from your end, what steps would you want to take to
So,
ensure employee effectiveness?
so to me, I think,
ऐसा क्या
especially in
करें?
this whole remote, especially in this whole remote management situation, I think the and it's I don't think there's anything majorly different in the normal things that we talk about as far as manager and employee relationships are concerned. So, it does boil down to setting expectations, very clear, well understood expectations, so that the employee understands it, and reiterating that expectation. Staying in touch becomes even more important, I would say. So making sure that you're doing your regular connects, whether it depends on from employee to employee, but whether it's daily, whether it's weekly, or whatever it is. So having that daily connect with the employee, bringing in care and compassion to always start off conversation first by asking how the employee is doing and how his or her family is doing, and then
Yes.
moving on. To me, so these are all basic वो वाली चीजें जो employee effectiveness create करती हैं, और इन्हीं के ऊपर काम करना होता है. It's just a different medium. I encourage a lot of video calls as well, but I don't force employees if they're not comfortable, because remote से घर से काम करने में एक advantage कह लें या
पीछे बच्चे
disadvantage ये होता
पीछे
है कि
बच्चे भी
आप
चल रहे होते हैं.
पीछे बच्चे भी चल रहे हो तो कुछ अपना हुलिया भी इतना खास इतना मतलब सही नहीं होता. So
तो
it
भी
depends what you
वो
want to
होलिया तो
do.
फिर वो होलिया को तो फिर मैं कहती हूँ, मैं कहा यार this is like your Americanized version of working, यार. You like t-shirts, you like this, so you're getting
Yeah,
the work
that's
done.
true
What
too.
does it matter?
Yeah, what does it matter? That's true too. So to
हाँ,
me, that's what I mean. वही वाली चीजें इसी तरह होती है employee effectiveness चीजें. They're just a
बिल्कुल.
different medium that we're using. That's how I feel about it.
हाँ.
Yeah, and
काशरा,
Ghazala,
आप
just
क्या
to
कहते
add
हैं?
to that, you're absolutely right. Just to add to that, just one more, one more spice to the recipe. Yes, the continuous engagement, the
Yeah,
continuous communication, that personal touch. Most importantly, consistency.
yeah.
We can't do
I
it
would say.
today and not do it tomorrow.
Oh yes, for
We
sure.
should do today what we can do tomorrow, and the day
बड़ी
after,
मुश्किल
and the
बात
day
कर दी
after,
काशा
and
साहब
for the
आपने.
times to come. Because that is what will make people believe that we actually meant what we were doing. It was
Yeah,
not just situational, it was not
Hmm.
just an eyewash or something, but we actually meant it. So consistency of all these messages would make a lot of difference, I guess.
for sure, for sure.
Yes, consistency is key, basically.
That's the key.
आज
That's
भी
the key.
हाँ, वही वाली
I mean,
बात है.
I can't be calling like an employee today. I can't be calling 10 employees today. How your family is doing, blah blah blah. And tomorrow, because I'm busy in 10 meetings, I
Yeah,
cannot call anyone. So it was just a day when I became a nice guy. The next day, I was the same person. So it has to be
Yeah,
consistent. Whatever we do has to be
yeah,
consistent.
yes. Okay, if this is the role that we're going to be. So I want to ask you, so as leaders, what support would you want to extend?
accessibility and approachability. I think to me those are two very important words in today's world and in the next world. In the when we are in office as well. Again,
Yeah.
I think that is the support that you can provide. बाकी सारी चीजें तो and we're talking in this context obviously, and that's why I'm limiting my comments. वरना तो इसके ऊपर बहुत लंबी चौड़ी कहानी हो सकती है.
बिल्कुल सही.
But I think in today's world, as we move along, I think accessibility and approachability, and not let's not fool ourselves, right? Not everybody is that way. There are people who like to create that boundary and say, "Acha, whatever it is, I'm busy," or whatever their notions would be. But I think breaking down those barriers, and being accessible and being approachable, I think is going to be key as we talk about support to the organization and to the employees.
That's very
And to add to that,
repetitive.
Ghazala, I don't know if you guys will count it as support, but I personally feel that this is also a kind of support. Being honest and being bold, being honest and being bold. That is the
I can
biggest
share that.
support
I
we
can
can give
share
to
that.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't tell the truth to people, if we show them, just the beautifully painted, scenery on the wall, it
जी
may
जी
not
जी.
be true, and
That's true.
we may lose credibility as leaders. So while being
True.
हाँ क्या
accessible and
आपने तो ये कहा
approachable,
था.
we have to
हाँ.
be honest and bold
Oh, for
in
sure.
communicating the messages, which may not be pleasant all the time, but whatever it is, we have to keep people, we have to give visibility to people of the facts and realities. So I think that will, because if you're in a limbo, if you don't know about something, that causes a lot of anxiety, disengagement, and demotivation. When people know things, it may hurt for a while, but at least they have an opportunity to react in time. So I think being bold and honest would be another support mechanism that we can extend
हम्म.
to our people.
बिल्कुल सही. It's like telling वो वाली बात है ना, nip it in the bud.
Exactly, nip it in the
Yep.
bud. Because
क्योंकि
आप आज उनको बताएं कि नहीं सब अच्छा है, कोई मसला नहीं है, just carry on, tell them the facts, both sides of the picture. And as humans, like you said, Saman, God
जी.
has given us a lot of capacity to change things. So it's us who will change things, of course, with the help of God. But unless we try, nothing will change. And we only try when we know what we need to try.
True.
सही कह रहे हैं. So before, not before, but you are the role models at work. We see you people. We hear about how Ghazala is doing, how Kasha Saab is doing, how many other people who are actually leading in these very difficult times. So what's the message that you would like to give to us?
You want
What
to
would
go
you like to
first,
tell
Kashyap?
us?
Sorry, can you come again, Saman?
Okay, what is the message that you would like to give to us? Okay, you are the role models at work. People are looking up to you. Your
Mhm.
designation, your position, your experience, going through challenging times. You're navigating through. So, what message would you like to give to us as
For
role
me,
models?
one line, and this is like an old saying. For me, one line. It says, "Tough times don't last. Tough people do. So be
Yeah.
tough." Yeah. And as they say, this too shall pass. So things will get better, inshallah. But keep it up.
Yeah.
As Aisha is also saying, keep it real.
Yeah. Yeah.
जी
And
Ghazala.
Ghazala,
जी
please.
जी please. नहीं बोले काशा, please go ahead.
No, Ghazala,
I don't.
Ghazala, please take it up. Take it up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure if I can beat that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So let me just. I just wrote a few sentences, so not a one-liner, but a couple of sentences. I think as in terms of what I would say to the people out there would be, don't lose this opportunity. Keep building your skills. I think there's a lot of room to build your skills at this point in time. So I would continue to look at how do I build my skills. I would stay, yeah, again, don't get sidestepped. बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, बहुत कुछ इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं, बहुत कुछ नहीं कर सकते. जो नहीं कर सकते इन्फ्लुएंस, उसके ऊपर बहुत वक्त गुजार के या सोचो, just thinking about it is not going to really help you. So stay focused on what is it that you can do, build your skills, and get yourself prepared for whatever it is that life may bring you. And you just keep going. Change is the essence of life. करते रहे आप.
Yes. Change
हो
is
जाएगा.
inevitable.
Change is the
हो
only
जाएगा.
constant. That's the only
चेंज
Change is
constant.
the
होने को आती रहेंगी चीजें. रेजिलियंस कॉम है, करते रहेंगे. जो होगा, जो आएगा, उसको देखी जाएगी.
So
हर मुश्किल के साथ
adaptability.
आसानी.
And Ghazala, I think
Adaptability. हाँ
one
जी.
very important factor that we're missing. I think one very important factor that we're missing. Have
Mm-hmm.
faith. Have
Oh
faith.
yes, have faith.
That is very
Yeah.
important. Have faith.
Hmm.
बिल्कुल जी.
Besides all that we do, the one more thing that we need to keep in mind is to have faith.
बिल्कुल जी,
Yeah.
इंशाल्लाह.
Faith takes you, मतलब basically that's the foundation where you built yourself on. कि अगर आपका मजबूत है ना, अगर नीयत आपकी है और ईमान है आपका कि ये तो आप कर लोगे,
तो फिर आप कर लोगे, फिर आप
बिल्कुल
कर लोगे।
फिर आप कर लोगे।
बिल्कुल।
बिल्कुल ठीक है। But thank you so much. We're coming towards the end, and it was great having you. And I think कि कभी कभी ऐसी बातें हम लोग एक दूसरे से करते हैं, जो हम आमने सामने करते थे, and now we're doing it for people so that people can also benefit from the kind of conversations we're having, the kind of leaders we have around us, people like you who have also given us a lot of seasoned experiences. So it's really thankful, and thank you for coming in. And if there's anything that you would like to say before going, so please बताइए.
Thank you for the opportunity, Saman. Thank you for creating
So
this
I would
forum,
just like to say thank you, Saman, for giving us.
and keep up the good work. You guys are doing a great job in this time of crisis. You're keeping people engaged. You're giving them a forum, an opportunity to talk
Yeah.
to each other, to share experiences. So keep up the good work. Wonderful knowing
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Inshallah, we'll meet again. One of the forums, one of the another किसी बात है आप लोगों की help चाहिए होगी, experience चाहिए होगा. We expect a call from me again, and
Anytime.
inshallah we anytime. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself and
Thank you very
take
much.
care of your families. Thank you very much, and have a nice
Thank you.
weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Vadala.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
Saman.
much. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you.
joining as well. The audience was great.
Thank
Yes, the
you.
audience was
Thank you.
absolutely fun. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you much.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Yeah, I get it.